The next thing we want to achieve now is the responsiveness of this. So let us quickly look at our responsive tab and check. All right, so I'm going to click on 1200. We can see, yeah, that's the desktop. Yeah, it's looking good. But when we get to the tablet view, 992, yeah, still looking good. Yeah, still looking good. Then 768, which is the mobile landscape breakpoint. I want these to, this is all responsive for the mobile landscape view, and for this you can see that they are all scrambled up. So how can we solve these? That is what we want to look at now. So we this should stack on top of each other. I mean, they should all stack up on themselves instead of being side by side like this. So let us quickly fix that in our responsiveness. So the way we can do it is to check through our elements tree. Let me close the elements tree. Let me collapse them. So this is the elements tree for our group numbers. If we can still remember from the previous lessons, then the top group and the group that contains everything all together. So we still know that everything is just all about boxes. So that's the first box, and there's another box inside at the top that contains these benefits and this text and view all. Then another box again that contains these group numbers, this, and this. And inside that box we have another box, which is the top inner group. And here's the top inner group, and that is what we want to make responsive now. And inside that top inner group again we have the final inner box, yeah. So the final inner box, yeah. So that's what we want to make responsive now. And if we check this final inner box, let's go to the layout. We can see that the minimum width is 0 and the maximum width is infinity. So that means we need to create a condition whereby the maximum width won't be infinity and the minimum width won't be 0, because that is why we are having this in our mobile. So when the page becomes narrow or small, those boxes become responsive to be so tiny, or yes, and that they become so so compressed. Yes, that's the word, compressed. So and we don't want that to happen. So therefore we are going to reduce the minimum width to, let's say, 100, and the maximum width as well, because we want these three boxes to stack on themselves. And the way we can achieve that is by dividing them, and this our page index is 1400. So if we check our calculator, 1400 divided by 3, so that's going to give us 466.6. So let us make this the maximum width 466 and the minimum width 100 for the next one as well. The minimum width should be 100. Or okay, let's make the minimum width 300, which is like the size of the mobile view. 300, the size of the mobile width, and the maximum width should be 466. The maximum width for this second one also should be 466, and for the third one as well, The maximum width should be 466. Let's make this 300. Yeah. So there we have it. So that means when we get to this 992 breakpoint, since we have divided them according to the size of our page, then they are going to stack upon themselves just like this. So 320 as well. So we set the minimum width to be 320, and that is why we are having this. So as you can see now, it is now responsive. They are stacking upon themselves. So that's for that, and I think we've achieved the responsiveness for this. As you can see, when it got to the 768, the mobile landscape view, we can see that these elements stacked upon themselves. So, and 320 as well. The minimum width we set was 320, and there we have it. But we are still going to work on this a bit. But for now, there we have it. So it's 320. But yeah, okay, yeah, there we have it at 320. But this text is not behaving well, so let us change the alignment of the text. I guess from here, let's see the layout from here. The maximum width is 80%. So okay, is it behaving well at 992? Well, I think so. 768. So we need it to expand a bit. We need it to expand a bit. We need it to expand a bit. So we can say that we can create a condition for this, that when current page width is less than or equal to 5667, then the text, the maximum width okay, let us change the minimum width. The minimum width should, what should it do? Should it increase? Yeah, it should increase a bit, and the text, the horizontal alignment should be center. Yeah, and also the text alignment as well. The text alignment should also be center. All right. So I think we can see the difference now, and with this, I think we get the. So let's do the same thing for this benefit as well. For these benefits, we are going to say that let's place this expression, and we want the font size to reduce when it gets to that breakpoint. So let's reduce the font size. So benefits. All right. So then for this as well, we should reduce the font size as well. Font size should be reduced a bit. So there we have it. Then for this one as well, we are going to create a condition for them as well, because we want the font size to reduce when the page gets smaller. Then we want to do the same for this. Let's paste the expression, and the font size the font size should also reduce. So that is just the okay, the font size. Okay, we paste the expression first, then the font size. The font size should reduce a bit, probably to 12. Alright, so we'll do the same for these ones as well. This is 55 pixels. Let's paste the expression, font size to 55 pixels. 55 pixels. And for this is 12 pixels and 21 pixels. So let's change this to 21 pixels. Let's paste the expression, the font size 21 pixels. 21 pixels, and for this, let's paste the expression and font size 12 pixels. 12 pixels, yeah. So there we have it. Then for this last guy as well, 55 pixels. The condition 55 pixels. Font size is 55 pixels. 55 pixels. Paste expression 21 pixels. Font size 21 pixels. And for this expression, size should be 12 pixels. Alright, so I think we get the logic behind it that way. So that's just the logic. So you can practically change anything you want at different page breakpoints, the size you want, and all. So that's for that. So moving back to our Figma file, we can see that we have another box below the first one. So what we can do is just copy the first box and paste it. So let's go back. This is our top inner group, our group numbers. This is the, okay. Now let us go back to the box that contains everything. This is a box that contains everything. Let's move down. Group benefits top. That's the first box that is inside the box or group. Yeah. Then we have group numbers. This is the top inner group. Yeah. Now this is the one we are going to copy. This is the one we are going to copy. So let us copy this and paste inside these group numbers. If we check the layout of the group numbers, we will see that it's column. So they are, if I paste now inside this, if I paste inside this now, okay, I just copied this, and okay, let me what we want to do now is to turn this group, this top inner group, this top inner group, you know, this is everything we just created now inside the group, and we want to turn it into a reusable element. So let's say top group. So let's create excuse me, let's create the reusable element, and here's the reusable element. Now we can duplicate it since we have two of it. So we just turned it into something we can reuse. So next thing we want to do is go back to our index page, and now this is our group benefits, which contains everything. Let's go down to the group, to the top group and the group numbers. So this group numbers is going to contain the first top inner group and the second top inner group. So what we want to do now is to come here to our reusable elements down here and pick this top group and put it just under the first one. So we can see here that it didn't place it well, so we can come back to our elements tree to drag it down, back, down. So we can drag it down. Okay, then we can drag it down, down. All right. Yeah. So there we have it. So we can name it lower inner group. Name it no lower inner group. All right. So there we have it. So now we have inside the group numbers, which is a column container, we now have the top inner group and the lower inner group, which replicates what we have here. So now let us check the responsiveness. Let us check the responsiveness of this. Let's check our responsivities to 12992.976. All right, 320. Okay. So there we have it. Let's go back to our default. Yeah, but we are having an issue here. We can see that this icon is not balanced with this other one. So we can sort that by going to the top inner group. Let's go to the top inner group and click on the group that contains this text, and we can change the okay, let's check the layout and say that the minimum height or the maximum height should be 100 pixels. The maximum height should be 100 pixels, and for this one as well, the maximum height should be 100 pixels. Oh, sorry. Let us undo that. Let me collapse this thing. This is supposed to be what we should work on. Maximum height should be 100 pixels. All right. Then the third one as well. Let's expand the inner group text. The maximum height should be 100 pixels, so that we create a uniformity. Now let's move on. Okay, I think there's a need for space between these group elements. Oh, Seems we are still having the same issue here. I think what we can do next is, since we've set the okay, since we've set that, we can troubleshoot again by saying that okay, this is a space around. Yeah, space around, that's fine. And we just set 100 pixels for, let me see. Okay, we just set 100 pixels for the maximum height for this. Alright, so but we are still having the same issue. You can see that this and this are uniform, but for this it is not uniform. So let us look at this very well. Let us look at this very well. The minimum height is 0, the maximum height is infinity. Alright, okay. So let us check the responsiveness 99768. Okay, I think that changed at the point of responsiveness. In a nutshell, what we want to achieve is making this arrow and the rest of them be on the same line. So we can achieve that by selecting the group that contains this flexible learning and this, and that is okay, we can reach it by selecting any text inside of it, then select the first parent. So this is the first parent, and just select first parent. Alright, here's the first parent. We can edit it. Alright, so we can set the minimum height, the minimum height to 100. So when we set the minimum height to 100, so we have them on the same line. So we can do the same for these reusable element as well, or we just copy these and do the same for the next one. Alright, so with this we've come to the end of this section of the page, and we are going to the next section, which is these courses. So once again, let us check the responsiveness of our page. The responsiveness, okay, there's a need for a space between this image or the video and benefits. Yeah, these spaces between the video and benefits and this group and the other one as well. So let us do that quickly. The first one we want to do is select this group benefits and create a top margin of probably 150. Sorry, 150. So the margin will create a space outside of the box, and the next space we want to give is between this one and this benefits, this text. So we can achieve that by either selecting this benefit and giving it, this group benefits top, and giving it a bottom margin. Can give it a bottom margin of, let's say, 100 as well. So that's a bottom margin. So that way we have our spaces and our responsiveness as well. This is what we have. So our desktop, for mobile landscape and for mobile portrait as well. So there we have it. This vHall is not well centralized, so we can create a condition for it that when the page width is less than 576, then the text alignment should be centered, and the top margin as well should increase to create space within the benefits. And yeah, so we can actually achieve anything. We can reduce this space as well. We can reduce this margin as well. Space the expression. The margin, the top margin is at 150, so we can reduce it so that when the page reaches this breakpoint, that space is going to go out. Let's put it at 0. So there we have it. And yeah, with this we've come to the end of this section of the page. So for this icon, you can upload any icon. You can choose an icon. Yeah, you can choose an icon, or if you want to use a custom icon as well, you can upload it as an image, then put it there. Alright, thank you so much. So we'll see you in the next lesson.